Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Mahmoud. I am the founder and CEO of Axion AI, where we help medium to small businesses to incorporate AI to um, grow and advance their businesses to the next level. Today, I have the pleasure to have Tom Hayes in our podcast. Tom, welcome.
Thank you much.
Couple of things about Tom. He is the founder of Riley Hayes. I'm gonna have Tom has a big list of achievements. I'm gonna let Tom speak about himself a little bit, and then we can get started. Tom, welcome. It's all yours.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and talk about Riley Hayes and talk about kind of lessons we've learned, how to grow, how not to grow, which is probably the most difficult lesson of all. But Riley Hayes has been around 35 years. We started, classics, started in a basement, that sort of thing. Have grown over the years, off and on and up and down, and various crises have sent us in various different directions, but we always come back. And that ability to get up and rebuild in a way that's right for the new world is something we're very proud of. I started my career as a copywriter, and writing is really one of my core competencies. And you'll probably sense that as my bias comes out here today. But started as a copywriter, worked with large clients like Optum Health, uh, Delta Airlines, 3M, Microsoft, and I'm forgetting some. So past clients, please forgive me. Yeah, so it's been a great journey.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much. And welcome to the show. We're really glad to have you. Do you want to talk a little bit more about Riley Hayes? Like, what do you guys do for the audience who doesn't know
Yeah.
much about the company?
So primarily our work is around strategy and creative. How do we position companies so that they can be most successful in the marketplace while being true to themselves? And then secondly, how do we develop a creative image, creative messaging that, as we say, brings humanity to humanity? Our job is to connect with human beings because we've done a survey and 100% of all customers are human beings. And that's something we have to keep in mind
As
as
of
we
now,
go out
yes.
and market ourselves and market our clients. Um, because coming up with the perfect position for the marketplace isn't sufficient, because you also have to have a position that an organization is willing to move forward with. And that often revolves around a lot of socializing, a lot of, training, et cetera, et cetera. So it's an exciting world for us and a tremendous challenge, but we love every minute of it.
Perfect. Cool. So that kind of brings me to where you sort of touched base a little bit, but I'm gonna,
Mhm.
want to dig
Sure,
in a little
please.
bit more. Um, who are your clients? How do you approach them? How do you get them? And that's a twofold question. So I
Yeah.
want to know what you guys think you do better than your competitors.
Hmm.
What's an appeal to your clients? So
Hmm.
first, who are your clients? How do you get your clients? And
Yep.
what do you think your client picks you over the other one? Sorry, long
Yeah.
question.
So, our clients, Hexagon, which is a large industrial company out of Sweden, that we have the pleasure of serving, 3M, which is down the road here in the Twin Cities. Obviously, they've got a lot of departments, do a lot of different work. New Horizons, which are academies, preschool, and they're now spreading all over the country. Um, and others include clothing tech, an AI powered clothing design company that works in 3D.
Mm.
And so, you know, over the last year, we've worked with seed companies, we've worked with med tech companies. Um, and I think a couple things connect all those. One is the complexity of the decision making that occurs, and sometimes the complexity of the regulatory environment. We've done a lot of work in financial, med tech, those sorts of things, where the regulatory environment creates a lot of disciplines that have to happen, yet somehow we find creative solutions that work within those disciplines.
No, that's great. So how, I guess coming back to my, circling back to my first question, how do you approach a new client? How do you generate the lead, and how do you, uh, are you going to the clients or the client comes to you? How does that process look like?
Yeah. So being around for as long as we have and having the reputation we have, clearly that's the piece that has to kind of exist. That Riley Hayes is known for doing great work for clients. We're known for doing what we say we're going to do, so clients have a good experience. So I would say that 60% of our work just comes from word of mouth based on our reputation or clients going from one company to another. Um, and that's been a great blessing. But it really kind of comes out of doing a great job for people and having a posture that we're here to serve people. We're here to help them, and that's created a reputation that's served us well.
Gotcha, gotcha. No, this is great because that's how the business should be, right? If you
Yeah,
if you help your clients, you don't have to sell yourself.
yeah,
They will automatically come back to you. That's the motto we try to follow as well
yeah.
at Axion AI.
And
Great. Yeah,
when I'm pitching, when I'm visiting with a client, you have to remember that uh, they're they're less interested in what you have to say than how well you listen and respond appropriately. So if you go into a client with some sort of script that highlights all your terrific things, it's like a kid out of college in an interview who or a politician that turns every answer into the question they want to get hear, and that's not the way it works. They need to go, man, I want to trust these people with my funds, my reputation.
absolutely. Yeah, that's the human connection that you were mentioning before. Made total sense. So like we're a tech company. Obviously, I'm
Mhm.
going to dive a little bit
Oh
into
yeah,
your
please
tech
do.
stacks. What are the technology you guys use, and how is it looking? What's your tech stack look like?
Yeah, I mean, clearly a creative shop we have all the kind of standard QuickBooks, Adobe stack. It's really largely around the Adobe stack, and then we some of the team uses AI for various functions. But I think we have to be clear that AI can create pictures of handsome people doing things, this, that, and the other thing. But at the end of the day, people still know that's AI, and it looks like a kid built it in his basement. So we still have to have real photographs. We have to have real copy, those sorts of things. But AI serves us. For example, the other day, I had to come up with 30 questions for a trivia contest concerning packaging, the history of packaging, for a packaging convention where we had a thing there. And it was amazing how it created some of those things. Um, of course, I had to check every one of them, but rather than me pulling it out of thin air, we're also using it to help our clients understand our customers, what's this person like? What do they listen to? What kind of things do they buy? Not just if we take the school pre-K school example, not just do they uh, uh, do hire do they sign up for pre-K, um, but where do they listen? What do they listen to? What do they watch? What are their hobbies? What are their connections? And we get this full picture of what that person is like in the aggregate. Now, none of us are uh, in the aggregate, right? I mean, Mahmoud, you're you're your own guy. I'm my own guy. But it does help us kind of speak to that, and I think really, and that's been the biggest influence that we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, you almost answered my next question, but
Sure.
yeah. So just to still go through the question, I wanted to know because you brought up a very good point that um, if you build something with AI, it's still and just people can tell, like people with the
Yeah.
creative eye can tell.
Hmm.
But as per data and researches and whatnot, it shows that the copywriting industry, the content creation industry and whatnot, those are going to be most affected by AI, or those are actually, as we speak, being most affected by AI, as long as the software industry as well, because we can see the layoffs coming in left and right, especially in
Yeah,
the
I
big techs and whatnot. What are your
but
thoughts?
from my point of view, and we have to get down to what AI does. It scrapes all this communication off the web and wherever it can grab information and writing and such. Um, and then it puts it together. Um, and there's a reversion to the mean in that. So I agree that if you're a below average content creator, you're going to get replaced by AI. I mean, you're kind of doomed. Um, but because, AI is better than you are. Um, but so it requires us as human beings or clients, if we want to break above the clutter in this world, we have to be superior to what AI is doing. I
Absolutely.
have a buddy of mine who's a pastor, and and he's telling me all these uh, pastors that are using AI to write their sermons. And they often, because his sermons are out on the web, he sees some parallels out there. Um, but the reality is, AI can't create a great sermon. It can create an average sermon. It can create an average content.
Hmm.
Um, and for those or an average description of what a church mouse looks like. Um, but it can't create a poem that we're going to want to read.
Hmm.
It can't create a song. I mean, at this point, AI can't even transpose music from one key to the next. I
Hmm.
mean, there are real challenges there. So, I think the challenge of AI is if you're if you're doing something that doesn't require sparkle, then AI is going to be great, and it's going to eliminate a lot of jobs in our industry um, around the production area, some of those lower level content things. Um, but if you're good, you're still better than AI is. And and maybe that'll change. I don't know. But right now, um, either hire a good copywriter or use AI. But below average, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, that kind of goes for any industry, to be
Yeah,
honest. Like, for
yeah.
example, in software industry, unfortunately enough for me to say, like the starting entry level junior software engineers are kind of not a thing anymore because
Hmm.
the way the speed that AI can generate code
Hmm.
is just mind-boggling. But
Yeah.
at the same time, as you mentioned, it just generate codes,
Yeah.
good or bad, decided by us, and we can say, you know what, I don't like this, fix it. That I don't like this, fix it word is
Hmm.
coming from experience, is coming
Yep.
from what you actually want. So you're going to be using AI as a helper, as
Mhm.
that little junior developer.
Yeah.
You're telling
Or
them
to
to,
find information from which you would write
sure,
if you're a good writer.
yeah,
That's great.
mhm,
Um, but I think going back to your point, I mean, one of the tough things that I think we're all going to experience, there's no farm that it will eliminate the farm leagues, to use a baseball term. That there won't be a place for junior people to learn in the simple stuff. Kind of if you think about it like what was it, Karate Kid, where he did wax on, wax off,
yeah,
did it 1,000 times and he got great at it, right?
mhm,
Um, we had all those jobs in our industry where people were doing small tasks, they were building on their learnings, and ultimately um, they could move up to more strategic positions. And in my case, I assume I have a sufficient brain for strategy. Um, but really, the wax on, wax off for me was doing 1,000 ads, seeing the responses to those 1,000 ads. Now, what happens when there's no place for a junior people? How do you get a senior person if they never
not
were a
having
junior
you.
person?
Absolutely, yeah. Um, yeah, what do you think the answer would be? This is a very good question. I never thought about it this way.
Yeah, I think it's first off, I don't envy them. Um, and I don't, I think it's going to, and I don't really have a great answer. Um, but you're going to almost need to be gifted to get to the level you need to be in this business in terms of thinking.
Right.
Um,
And
um,
also, if I think more deep into this, let's say today we stop hiring the juniors, right? We only have the seniors, the
yep.
leads, the architects, and whatnot. At some point, they're going to get old. At some point, we will need
Yeah.
to replace them with someone.
Yeah.
That's a void, right? Um, so are
Yeah.
we setting
And
ourselves
so,
to be doomed?
yeah. And what's the path and really what we're talking about here is what's the path to wisdom? How do people become wise about their field without being in the trenches,
Mhm.
right? And it'll get solved somehow,
Sure.
um, but um, but I don't have an easy solution. And I think particularly, if you're a content creator, I mean, one of the good news is about creative people is oftentimes your creativity is evident early in your career.
Mhm.
And some would argue your best creative is going to be
Yeah.
done early in your career. Um, so they at least have a shot in this discipline. But I'm not sure, in particular in coding, how does that work?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. Like for example, let's say before all this AI revolution,
Hmm.
for software industry, you would spend more time debugging than you're writing code.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yep.
like
Yeah. My wife is a
unspoken standard,
developer.
right?
And yeah.
So you'll be like banging your head
Hmm.
against the wall trying to solve like what went wrong. There is a
Hmm.
semicolon missing
Hmm.
somewhere, and you
Yep.
spend 2 hours. Gone are the days. So you just
Yeah.
snip it that this is my error, this is my code, find it, fix it. That's one, it's a good and a bad thing at the same time. Good thing is you're saving that 2 hours. You don't have to,
Hmm. Yeah.
stress yourself out. Bad thing is you're not learning anything.
Yeah.
We learn programming, we get better in programming by making those mistakes
Hmm.
and using our brain to try to solve those. Nowadays, we only we kind of use our brain to make the decision that, okay, this is good code versus bad code. We don't use that brain to like kind of generate a solution or come up with a
Hmm.
solution, solve a problem, and so on and so forth, which is in the long run can be dangerous because, again, as I mentioned, 10 years from now on, nobody's going to be thinking for a solution. Everybody's going to be asking for a solution, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it'll be like in ultimately, it'll be like the 2K crisis where they had to bring back all the COBOL developers because nobody knew COBOL
yeah,
anymore,
yeah, absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, and I think analogous as a writer, um, for example, fundamentally, you have to
Mm,
make good word choice,
absolutely.
and the um, if the AI is solving that for you, but it solves it in the most mediocre, or not mediocre, but average way,
Mm,
that's problematic. I mean, one of the things I've tried to do is, and it's almost a little game I play. I like everybody else, my when I'm typing something, AI will finish this sentence for me, right?
yeah.
And so what I do is then what I do is I don't do that, and I try and do a better job than that.
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I make other word choices.
Who
And I
wins?
think the other thing is AI doesn't uh, have the ability. Uh, let's go back to content and words. AI doesn't have the ability to surprise. If we think
Sure.
about it,
Sure.
um, that that in good writing, that anytime you're writing and the reader knows where you're going to go, it's not interesting.
Right.
If they know how you're going to finish the sentence, it's not interesting. If they know that who murdered the person, if they know that in the first chapter, it's a boring mystery, right? And so AI's challenge is it doesn't surprise and delight.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, imagine AI coming up with a joke. How would it know that 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 the ending has to be something unexpected?
Right. Yeah.
You know, you take even a simple joke like, and you may not get this, so you can cut it out later. But um, how many Irish? Let's see, how many potatoes does it take to kill an Irishman? And the answer is zero. Now, it's a surprise ending. You have to know there was the Irish famine, right?
Right.
And as obviously Riley Hayes,
Mhm.
we're doubling down on the Irish here. Uh, but that surprise is missing
Mhm.
in AI.
Gotcha. Yeah. No,
But it
absolutely.
does. But my at 3M, they're able to analyze which chemicals go with which chemicals to create, say, a fire retardant chemical. I mean, and they're able to explore thousands and thousands of combinations, novel combinations, and come up with ones, or at least a list of them that
Mm.
they can then explore for commercialization. That's amazing.
Yeah. And in
Um,
a very short time too.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, versus they'd have to go through one by one, and yeah. I mean, those things are amazing.
Yeah,
So,
so it's at the end of the day, it comes down to how you're using it. Like it can be a very, very powerful tool, but if you're trying to replace, again, like something can be replaced, but if you try to replace entire humanity with AI,
mhm.
I don't think we're there yet, and it probably would not be a good idea either. We
Well,
lose that
and
touch.
And the problem is, all they have to AI works off of past data,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And humanity is in flux. I
Mhm.
mean, it's constantly in flux. Why aren't people going to Marvel movies anymore? People went to Marvel movies.
Mhm.
You'd predict Marvel movies would be, now to the end of time, we just have more Marvel movies.
Mhm.
Well, of course, we're fickle. We change our minds. We get tired of things. We get bored of things. If I over-index on eating chicken, you
Mm.
don't know the point where I'm sick of eating chicken.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think iterative things. I think it's going to be a great liberator from the mundane things in our lives. Um, but I don't think it's going to replace creativity and the spark. But anyway, I've been proven wrong. But
As of now, as of now.
as of now, as of now, I'm okay. One of the things I tell my clients is AI won't unclog your sink,
Of course, yeah. You have to do
right? I mean,
it.
yeah, I mean, I wish it could, but there's still, um, and so for us, it's about the creative process and bringing humanity to humanity. Now, AI does a great thing in our business. It helps us identify who to talk to, when to talk to them, and it might even give us a clue as to what offers people might respond to if it has the right data for that.
Mhm,
Um, but in the final mile where we have to make a connection
mhm.
with a human being, it requires a layer of humanity to do
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we here at Axion AI, when we do lead generation jobs
Mhm.
and whatnot, we do the first bit automatically, like reaching out to people, reaching out to a lot of people at the same time, potential clients who are responding, how are they responding,
Mhm.
all the market analysis and all that
Mhm.
whatnot. If we find people are interested in a certain service and so
Mhm.
on, we set up a calendar invite, we
Sure.
set up with a real person,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
that's when the actual connection building, as we
Yeah.
discussed at the beginning,
Yeah.
that this is the person that I want to trust, this is the
Mhm.
company that I want to work with. That's when it begins.
Sure.
We never take that part away from
Yeah.
automation. It can be, but it's not going to be as good as, a real person who knows
Yeah.
more about the product in that company talks to the potential client. But again, back in the days, you would have to, like, pick up your phone call
Mhm.
100 people
Yeah.
or email
Yeah.
1,000
No,
people.
that's right.
Those are
What
all taken care.
if I can ask you, how do you think email's working these days?
It's a good question. And so we run, again, at AxionAI, we run a huge number of email campaigns.
Sure.
Um, Even though the response rate is 1, 2, 3 to 5%, depending on
Mhm. Oh,
what
that's really
kind
good.
of client we're
Yeah.
getting.
Yeah. That's great.
But it's the way we can turn it around is pretty,
Mhm.
like, that 2% can has a higher possibility to end up becoming a client.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so the response is low, but then again, once we get a
Yeah.
response, it is still today, is a good source of communication. It's not dead
Okay.
yet.
Okay. Well, no, and I reflect on that both in us using AI, to to try and reach new customers, as well as just kind of my own response to I got to get rid of these emails. I just,
Too
I
many
go,
of them.
yeah, and
I get a lot too,
I've got
trust me.
blockers and I've got all sorts of stuff, but I just, and I think it's a little like what I find fascinating is how direct mail still works.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, you'd think, I mean, it, you'd think that would have gone the way of a telephone book. Um, but direct mail continues to work. Continues to pay off. Now, when done well,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, that's been our experience.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, we're almost closing in at
Sure,
time. Just a few more questions. So do you
sure.
have any advice for, let's say, someone like me starting a new business,
Yep.
you know, uh, with probably the biggest challenge in this world with, helping companies to adopt AI and obviously a moral way and
Yeah.
helping the businesses grow. Do you have any advice for me?
Yeah, I think there are a couple things that are obviously it's a pretty disruptive world and that we have out there. And I think if I were starting a business right now, this elimination of overhead and this notion of thinking the virtue in your business has something to do with how many employees you have. Um, I think it's because of various laws and stuff. I mean, keeping that overhead low, and really finding out what tools and what people you can work with. I think that, I think understanding AI and understanding what it can do and what it can't do. And so you look at Riley Hayes. The good news is we got some smart people who know it can do. I'm not one of them. But I guess I'm the one who knows what it can't do so far. Uh,
That's a
yeah,
very, very good skill to have.
yeah, and and so far I can write better than AI.
Yeah,
That's and the people who work for us can write better than AI, because writing always solves a human problem, and humans are just so doggone complex.
absolutely. Yeah. You're ahead in the game, my friend.
Well, no, I don't know. Today, maybe we'll see tomorrow. So,
Cool. Tom, thank you so much. It has
yeah.
been a great pleasure speaking with you. I've learned a lot about the industry and you and the company itself. It was a great insight and it was a great episode, I would say.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it, Mahmoud.
Yeah.
So, very good. Well, you have a great day.
Thank you so much. Um, Thank you, viewers, for staying up all the way here, and we'll see you in the next one.